40-day water fasting and a raw food diet based on fruits saved my life. How to be truly healthy in a raw food diet. How to adopt a natural hygiene way of life. How you can implement simple, easy steps on your life, and how my story can make you healthier. Do you want to know more about fasting and how to live a healthful life, or even raw vegan recipes? Hygienic Fasting, Nature Surgery, and the book Natural Delicacies, Cooking Without a Stove are available on Amazon, and Hygienic Fasting is actually available on print on demand, so you can receive it at your home. But I also have 8 books published, 6 online courses, retreats here in Brazil, and I attend patients online in private sessions. Unfortunately, all the other books and the online courses are still only available in Portuguese. But if you want my help as a nutritionist, or even if you want to come to a retreat in Brazil, just sign up. The contact will be on the website and in the links below. And please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, comment, share the video. If you do all those, you are going to help the channel to grow. And if we grow, you grow together, getting more vital, life-changing information so you can help yourself and others to make this a more healthy and better planet for all of us. Hi, I'm Dr. Corassa, clinical nutritionist from Brazil that was about to die actually almost 20 years ago, and have saved my life through the concept, through the lifestyle medicine that we call natural hygiene, or the science of health. Almost 20 years ago, suffering from diabetes, back pains, about to do 2 surgeries, on my back, one on my nose, having severe allergies, severe gastrointestinal disturbances, and a lot of other health issues, I am really happy to say that yes, diseases are not meant to manifest in us, in my humble opinion, if we live the way nature intended. And being really sick made me search for the answers to save my own health. And now I just not saved my own health, I have experienced things that I think almost no one in the planet have lived. And I also have lived the 18 best years of my life as a raw fooder, and I also can help many people with the most updated scientific data on lifestyle medicine. So stay there until the end to learn a little bit more about my story and also a few tips for you to implement in your daily living and to be healthier. I grew up as a really sick child, playing a lot of video games, eating a lot of junk food, and not having the most common biological needs for every organism on the planet. Why? If you see trees, if you see animals, all of them, they need sunshine, they need fresh air, they need proper sleep, they need proper functioning of their biological rhythms, of their biological clocks. They need a proper diet for their species. And when I was young, I was doing everything wrong. And you probably do the same. You probably have gone through the same, because all of us, we are not taught health from the beginning. They teach us math, they teach us a lot of stuff, but they don't teach us health. So I grew up really sick, and when I was 17 years of age, I became a Counter-Strike player. I was one of the best in the world, traveling the whole world to compete in a computer game. I was like a cyber athlete, paid to play video games. And that made me more sick than I was already, because I had terrible habits when I was at home, but traveling the world and making money to play Counter-Strike, I didn't know that I needed to take care of myself. So I gained like 30 kilos, like 70 pounds. I started eating a lot more junk food than I used to. I started exercising less, sleeping less, and that made me even sicker than I already was. So I was about to do 2 surgeries when I was 22. I was diabetic, a lot of health issues, and I started searching for answers. I went to a lot of medical doctors, a lot, but they were all looking ill and fat, and they didn't look that they had the answer that I was looking for. Because if I was looking sick, how they could look more sick than I was and actually help me out? They always were like pills and surgery, pills and surgery. I was so young. It didn't manage in my mind. It didn't make sense in my mind to take a lot of pills and cut myself open, like in my nose and my back, and the side effects that I can have from a surgery, like cutting my back. I have seen people go paraplegic, the inability to move their own legs because of back surgery. So I was like, no way. It doesn't sound like the thing I needed to do. And I started looking on the internet, and thankfully, I stumbled upon the concept of raw foods. And when I started like studying about raw foods, I was like, I tried everything in the planet. I tried allopathic medicine, the usual way of medicine. I tried naturopathic medicine, trying to go to osteopaths, chiropractors, acupuncturists, homeopathy. I tried a lot of stuff and none actually worked. But when I stumbled upon raw foods and started eating a raw food diet, my world changed. So in just a few days of eating raw food diet, my world changed. I could hear better, I could smell better, I could taste food better. My mind was more clear. I started like losing weight and losing the puffiness, inflammation that I had like all over my body, my joints, everything was like renewed, more flexible, even my mind were more flexible. I could feel benefits in just like one day, even more, a week or so. I was like amazed. So I kept searching for answers, for information, because I stumbled upon raw food diet, like living foods, sprouting a lot of stuff, and I also stumbled upon the fruitarian movement. And I felt like living on fruits only, that doesn't sound sane. But, I didn't know how to sprout food. And the living food movement didn't sound as sane as well. Using oils like olive oil, using a lot of nuts and seeds and avocados, using so much dehydrators and tools and ways to prepare the food, and a couple of days like sprouting and then dehydrating and then fermenting. It didn't sound natural to me. It didn't sound like the optimal. But also living on fruit, it sounded like that's not enough. But I didn't know how to sprout the food. I didn't know how to prepare it in the living food way. So I started like just eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Mostly fruit actually, because I didn't like vegetables back then. My palate was so childish because being spoiled by so much industrialized processed food. So in a month after living primarily on fruit, I got really, really thin and I didn't have too much energy. So I was like, this is the way. I'm feeling a lot better. Never felt this way before, so good, but I don't have the energy anymore. And I'm looking like a school. I look like so thin, like I was in Second World War or something, like in prison. I was actually down to 55 kilos. I'm actually 70, so it was a lot of weight loss. So I knew that something was wrong. I just needed to know more details, study more. And then thankfully I stumbled upon the raw food guru called Dr. Douglas Graham. He's probably one of my main mentors, my main inspirations, and I thank a lot for the information that he provides. So Doug actually wrote the 80-10-10 diet. I bought the book and read it like in a day or so. It was like, it made so much sense to me, and my health improved in so many ways by eating more fruits and vegetables. I actually become a raw fooder, right? I haven't cooked for the last 18 years now. It's going to less than 2 weeks. It will be my 18-year anniversary of a raw food diet. So living on fruits is great, but people make a lot of mistakes in raw food diets that I can comment a little bit afterwards. I will put the link on the description and also in the cards for the video raw food diet mistakes. So people make a lot of mistakes in a raw food diet. I already made a video about it. So after that, everything was so much more easy. Having a book, having scientific information, have details on how to practice healthy diets, but I needed to know more. My body felt like fasting. I felt like a huge urge to do a water fast, and I kept searching for answers, and Doug suggested me to read the work of Herbert Shelton. Dr. Herbert Shelton actually was one of the pioneers of natural hygiene, this model of lifestyle medicine that is so underrated, but I'm pretty sure is the most updated scientific data we have, the most updated perspective on medicine, on health, and is the most precise one. So I really believe in natural hygiene. I have been practicing it for like 18 years now, and that's why I did so many water fasts, and I have been practicing a natural hygiene lifestyle ever since. So what are the tips I can give you to become more aligned with natural hygiene, to be more healthy, to be more independent, to have your health on your own hands? So first of all is diet. For sure, diet is one of the biggest parts of the puzzle that we call human health. So diet, the first tip I can give you on diet is exclude, ban processed food from your diet, from your house, from your view, from your mindset. You don't give yourself a gift when you eat ultra processed foods. You actually hurt yourself with ultra processed foods. So the second tip on diet I can give you, that's for sure, reduce the amount of animal protein that you intake. You can exclude and become a vegan, it's up to you. But here I'm be talking just about scientific data. And we know that the more you reduce the animal protein intake you ingest, the healthier you are. That is the data. The more plant food you eat, the better microbiota, the better immune health, the better anti-aging effect you have. There's a lot of science behind it. Third tip, eat a lot of raw food, a lot of fresh food, because not just raw, because this idea of raw food diet using oils, oil can be raw, but it's not a living food. While it's refined, it's not living anymore. So people eat raw chocolate, raw blah, 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 a lot of junk food that is actually mislabeled as raw, but it's not raw. So the third and main tip for sure in terms of diet, eat a lot of fresh plant food, but even more fruits and vegetables and a small amounts of nuts and seeds. So that will get you in an excellent way in your diets. Second part of the puzzle is for sure exercise. So the tips I give for people trying to exercise is, first of all, the man who eats must exercise, as Herbert Shelton used to say, and I completely agree with him. The only days I'm not exercising are the days I'm fasting. So if I put food on my mouth, I will exercise on that day, period. First tip is to exercise every single day that you eat. In my humble opinion, that is the way to go. That is the way nature intended. That's the way animals do it in the wild. They can have lower intensity days, higher intensity days, but it's still, when they eat, they exercise before they eat, because that makes a lot of physiological adaptations for the food and making us healthier. So exercise before your meals. Second tip is, I love one of Doug's quote as well, that he usually says in his lectures, I can remember from almost 17 years ago studying his content, is, people ask me, how often do I exercise? And I say, every day that I eat. It's simple as that. The second tip I can give you in terms of exercise is intensity in terms of exercise matter. We know in science nowadays that high intensity training is better than low intensity training in terms of health and all other aspects of human physiology. So intensity does matter. So yes, for sure, you can walk. But if you can do at least high intensity for short periods of time throughout your day, will be good. We call that hormesis. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. So you have to realize that you have to go out of breath or your muscles go into failure. You need the stimuli, the stress, the physiological stress, not the modern stress that we are used to, but the physiological stress that we would have in nature if we were exercising. And third tip, change sports. Because when you change sports, you actually change the type of exercise you're doing. So we need cardiorespiratory exercises, but we also need anaerobic exercises. We need strength training exercises, but we also need stretching, and we also need motor coordination. So when you have a complete way of training, we call that cross training. When we change sports to change the muscles that we are training, to change the fitness capacities, we actually have a lot to gain. So I love tennis, for example, and tennis has been seen as the longevity sport. So I would highly recommend you to play tennis because I love it, because there's scientific data that people who play tennis lives 10 years longer, but it's up to you. I will shortly, in the near future, I will be doing an episode on tennis and sports for the channel, but until then, I just highly recommend you to just change the sports. What other subjects would you want to view here? Do you want to know more about? Please comment below. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to help our work and help yourself, 2 of my 10 books are already translated and published in English on Amazon, and Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery is actually available print on demand also, and Natural Delicacies Cooking Without a Stove, it's on Kindle. So if you want my help, the link below for the website and for the WhatsApp contact, you can get a consultation, retreats, online courses, and read all the books. It's life-changing information for the most updated lifestyle medicine information out there in the planet. So going to the third most important biological needs that we have is actually sunshine. We talk a lot about vitamin D nowadays, but it's insane that we always try to reduce things to one perspective only, instead of understanding that nature is holistic. Human physiology is holistic. So the sunshine, the sun, doesn't only provide vitamin D, but also provides synchronization of your biological clocks, provides mood-enhancing effects, provides intracellular mitochondrial antioxidant production. So the mitochondria actually produces more antioxidants because of the exposure of sunshine. So people trying to minimize, to underestimate this importance of the sun, just thinking that you just have to take a vitamin D pill, it's insane. In my humble opinion, it doesn't really work that way. Yeah, for sure, maybe vitamin D can be better than none. I'm not sure about it. There's videos about vitamin D here in the channel. Research from Dr. John McDougall quoting other scientists, other papers, showing that actually vitamin D supplementation can cause a lot of harms, but it's not the topic that we are going to talk today. I suggest you highly to view the video here on the channel, but I believe in the Greeks saying that sol est remediorum maximum. The sun is the maximum remedy, is the most important remedy. So the more sunshine a living organism gets, the healthier he is. So you can see plants, for example. The plants that I have here that grows the best are the ones that get the most sunshine along the day. Yes, for sure, there's plants that are more adapted to shade, and there's human beings that are more adapted to the sunshine or less adapted. For example, People with black skin, the blacker your skin, the more melanin you have, the more sunshine you need. People with whiter skin, they have less melanin, so they need less sunshine. So for sure, there are variables. Human beings are not all the same, but the sun is a biological need, influencing around 1,000 genes. So it's really important to understand that the better vitamin D status, the lower the incidence of chronic diseases. But there is a limit in terms of vitamin D. More is not better. Enough is more than enough. Okay, so I suggest you to watch the other video. So let's talk about the last one, or maybe the most important one of these four: sunshine, diet, exercise, sleep. But I'm going to only talk today about 4 essentials of healthful living. But for sure, there are many more. I highly recommend you to watch the other videos on the channel to understand chronobiology, chrononutrition, forest therapy, and a lot of other biological needs that we have, that we got in nature for millions of years and now we are missing. But these 4 are the ones that we can influence the most, we can control the most easily, and for sure it's the 4 ones that you have to pay attention in the beginning. Afterwards, you have to pay attention for petrochemicals in your life and a lot of other stuff. But let's understand a little bit more about sleep. Yes, you need sleep, but you need not just only quantity of sleep, but quality of sleep. So how do we sleep better? There's a lot of things to cover. I'm not going to, start talking about everything, but diet, exercise, and sunshine are important to sleep well. Avoiding coffee, avoid eating late at night, avoid blue lights at night. There's a lot to understand about sleep. But without sleep, you end up dying. Even way before you end up dying without food. You can live without food for even 40 days or more. I have lived. You can watch the whole documentary here on the channel or in Lawrence Lockman channel to see the full documentary, or in my other Portuguese channel, my Brazilian channel. But without sleep, you cannot live more than a few days or even a week. So sleep is vital, it's crucial to human health. So influences, and even when you don't sleep, you don't manage to exercise or to maintain a healthy diet. So sleeping at least 8 hours per day is non-negotiable. But for sure, I believe sleeping 9 hours would be even better if you can. So the main biological needs that we have, and the most important thing to understand if you want to start a raw food diet and a natural hygiene lifestyle, is these 4. How to practice these 4 and to be consistent, because one of the main benefits I had of being really healthy was being consistent with sunshine, sleep, exercise, and my plant-based raw food diet. That was the most important thing that maintained my health for these last 18 years. So if you like the video, please don't forget to comment below, give it a thumbs up, share the video, click the bell button for notification, and subscribe for the channel. If you want my help as a clinical nutritionist, my book, Diet of Eden, will be soon available on Amazon, on print on demand, or in Kindle format. But I already have 2 other books on Amazon: Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery and Natural Delicacy Cooking Without a Stove. They are available on Amazon, and you should read if you want the most updated scientific data on natural hygiene and having a healthy life. I have 10 books in Portuguese, but they will be slowly being translated to English. My main way to help right now is through consultation to the English language community. But I run retreats here in Brazil. I have a special farm to run with a lot of rare tropical fruits, and I also have online courses but in Portuguese. So if you want my help, there are many ways I can help. I'll put them on the description. You can also watch the Portuguese channel. There's a 600,000 subscribers. And you can follow me on Instagram, Dr. Corassa, Raw Food Nutritionist. and on TikTok. It was a pleasure to help with a little bit of the knowledge that I accumulated for the last 18 years, and click these videos to know more and go in the description to see other health related videos.